Hi there, I'm Carl Britton. I'm Executive Member for Financial Responsibility at East Arts District Council. My earlier video outlined some of the general pressures we are facing, but this video is specifically about the challenges of setting the 25-26 budget. Some of you may be aware that the government has announced its intention to do away with the two-tier system. So you may be asking why we are doing this at all. There is likely to be a reorganisation. However, it will be a few years away, and in the meantime, we still have a duty to produce a balanced budget. Whatever happens, we will need to save about £3.5 million next year, which is a huge amount of money. We want to do that in a way where we will still provide good value services to residents, whilst also getting rid of waste and inefficiency. As part of that, we want to hear from you on what you think of the quality of our services generally, and that will help us prioritise where we will invest going forward. You can find a link to a survey at the bottom of the page. So starting off with what we have already done to make savings. We have made quite a few savings from staffing and will continue to do so. Starting off with what we have already done to make savings. We have made quite a few savings from staffing and will continue to do so. That includes reducing the number of senior managers we have, but also only recruiting to vacant posts when we think they are absolutely critical. We are also continuing to look at selling off assets, but also making the best use of the ones we have. For example, we are expecting to rent out part of our main offices at Warfields in the new year, which will generate some much needed income. Myself and other colleagues on the executive have also had good discussions about the services we want to protect. So these are things which we feel are important to the district, that we need to continue to prioritise them. One of the areas is planning enforcement. We know that a lot of people feel strongly about making sure any development in the district, whether large or small, has to be in keeping with the character of the area and within the bounds of the planning permission granted. That is why we don't want to take any resources out of this area, to make sure we can still deal with alleged breaches of planning and take action where necessary. One of the other areas we looked at was our support for the Citizens Advice Service in the district, to whom we give a grant every year. However, we recognise that a lot of people, often the most vulnerable, rely on citizens' advice for support and advocacy. So again, we don't feel that right now is the best time to reduce support, especially with the lingering effects of the cost of living crisis. Another area we looked at and decided not to reduce service levels was in regards to licensing. There are lots of premises and organisations across the district that need a licence to do things like run events in town centres and parks. We don't want to stop any of these where possible, but also we want to make sure we are supporting them with safety and licensing considerations. For that reason, we don't feel it's an area where we should reduce investment. That all said, there are some things we are putting forward. So the charges for people who have a green waste collection will be going up by £10 per year. That takes it from £49 to £59 for an annual subscription, which will be similar to some of our neighbouring authorities. Our element of the council tax will be going up by just under 3%. If you are in a Band D right now, you will be paying about £3.76 per week to the district council as part of your council tax. We are proposing to increase that by another 12p or so per week. We are also looking to increase the charges in our car parks. The idea is that in a number of areas, parking charges will increase to support our new parking strategy, which seeks to promote active and alternative travel, support economic prosperity and community well-being. We'll cut it there. The increases to garden waste and parking charges have unfortunately become necessary because they are almost the only means the council has to replace the reduction in real terms funding from council tax and government grants. So what happens next? The proposed budget is going through our committee process in the new year and will be ultimately signed off by the council at its meeting on the 26th of February. The survey will take on board public views and perceptions of our services as part of the discussions. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to hearing your views.